discussion. In the outset, I'd like to read a statement from Brother Brentnell, page number 28, that teaches, according to him, that the church cannot function as a home. That means there is a difference between the two. He said, anybody with sense enough to read and reason knows that the church cannot function as a home. They are separate institutions, obviously. The church and the home are different things. There would be no way that a church could function as a home. They are separate. So if a church has orphan children, how is it going to take care of them? It's going to have to take care of them so that they have a home. And that's an important point. Now, he mentioned in his chart T91, in connection with the three institutions, the church, the home, and the state. But I noticed as he was going down the three that I wasn't sure whether or not he believed that the government, civil government, is a divine institution. So I'd like to get that clarified. Brother Sutton, do you believe that the civil government is a divine institution? Now, of course, I believe that it is, and have cited Romans 13. And I believe it is a divine institution. But I wasn't sure from what you said, or whether or not you believe that the church is whether the state is a divine institution. There are three divine institutions: the state, the church, and the home. Each one of these has functions. The twofold function of civil government is to protect innocent people and punish lawbreakers. And the church is a divine institution. And so is the home. They are separate and distinct. In his chart T90, he talks about the missionary society. He wants to know about the church being its own missionary society, as though there were difference between myself and Brother Woods on that matter. There is no difference. There may be different expressions and approaches to the subject, but there is no difference between us on that subject. There is no difference at all. Brother Woods does not believe in the missionary society. I do not believe in the missionary society. Brother Woods believes in orphan homes. I believe in orphan homes. We believe the church can do all the church is supposed to do, and that homes can do all that homes are supposed to do. And both of us reject missionary societies. There is no difference between us on that subject. Now, he had a picture of an abandoned child and talked about an orphan home, and that particular one not having the facilities to take care of one that young. When an orphan home operates, it must operate under the law. And if it does not have the facilities and cannot meet the requirements to take a child or children through certain ages, then it cannot do that. It's simply operating in the law. For example, when you have a child that's abandoned in the first place, that child is a ward of the state. Now, you can't just walk out on your front door, and if you were an individual, if you found an abandoned child, you can't just walk out and take that child in and bring it into your home. That child that's abandoned becomes a ward of the government, the state, and you'll have to meet the legal requirements before you can get it as an individual. And you'll have to meet the legal requirements before you can get it as an orphan home. So whether it's a natural home or a legal home, it'll have to meet the requirements. But there are thousands and thousands of children that are taken care of in orphan homes. You may want to adopt a child out of an orphan home. If it does not have the properly licensed and qualified people, it cannot adopt the children out. It legally cannot do it. So a home must operate within the legal requirements, and there's nothing wrong with those legal requirements. Let's look now at Brother Sutton's home. I keep waiting for him to discuss his home. I asked him a question number 2. Would it be scriptural for the church to buy a piece of ground, build a house, supply it with the needed equipment, hire the necessary help, place orphan children in it, and provide money for their care? And he said that the church may provide the place, the necessities, the personnel, and the Poor, of course, he limits it to the poor saints' orphans. Now, if this orphan home gets big enough, it'll have to get a license. It'll have to be incorporated. It'll have to follow the rules and regulations. And when it does, it'll have to abide by those rules and regulations. It will have rules and regulations that it will have to follow. What about his home? The church can provide the place. It can build and maintain the place. What's wrong with building and maintaining the place? There's nothing wrong with it. What about providing the necessities? There's nothing wrong with that. It should do it. What about the personnel? There's nothing wrong with that. I think he's wrong in limiting it to the poor saints. But here is Brother Sutton's home. He keeps talking about the home, the legal home, the orphan home being such a bad thing, but look how many things he's got for it already. He's already admitted the church now can do all of this. The church can do it. Now he wants to have it so that the church operates it. But now I want to ask him a question. How's the church going to do that? How's the elders going to do that? How are they going to provide for the necessities of a child? And let's have chart number 50. What is that? 50 that deals with the necessities, needs of an orphan child. Here are the necessities: food, shelter, clothing, education, supervision, medical care, entertainment, recreation. How's the church going to do that? Tell me how the church is going to take care of the entertainment. That would be an interesting question. How's the church going to take care of the entertainment for those children in Sutton's home? How are they going to entertain them? Are they going to entertain them in a church building? Sunday school classroom? Where are they going to entertain them? Where are they going to provide entertainment for them? Are they going to play hopscotch, or what are they going to play? Where are they going to play it? Where are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? How's the elders going to do that? Children are taken care of in a home, a legal home. And that's what we're arguing for in this discussion tonight. This chart that has the, where is his, is this the chart he used?
No, he didn't use it.
He didn't use that chart. He had one was the parallel between the home and the missionary society, the orphan home and the missionary society. Was it on this side? Okay. He parallels the missionary society and benevolent societies or orphan homes. He says they're parallel. I've told him they were not parallel, and I've told him why. The individual nor the church has a right to contribute to a missionary society. He believes that an individual can contribute to an orphan home. It's obvious they're not parallel. Let's put his home back up here on this one. If it's true that the missionary society and benevolent societies are parallel, what about Sutton's home up here? What about Sutton's home? Is it parallel to that? What about his home? Provide a place and necessities and personnel? Why, it's obvious that the missionary society is not parallel. It's not parallel in either case. The church is to preach the gospel. The missionary society has no right to exist. The church is to provide for orphan children. But now, how's the church going to do that?
1 minute.
The way it's going to do it is place them in a home. Provide a home for them. And that's where orphan children are taken care of in the necessities of an orphan child. And James 1:27 and 1 Timothy 5:16 prove that. That's why we've cited these passages. And this is pure religion. It's to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction and to keep himself unspotted from the world. And I'm still wanting him to come forward and say clearly that the church is to practice pure religion in James 1:27. I want him to just state clear out, point blank, if he will, that the church, mind you, may practice pure religion. He's already said that the church may pray. Surely he believes the church can be a doer of the word, and the church can keep itself unspotted from the world. So now will he come out and tell us clearly that the church is to visit the fatherless and widows. Thank you for listening.